Welcome to Caring and Coping, the Essentials, one in a series of presentations that supplement the various workshops provided by Suffolk Family Carers. We understand that the caring role can be stressful at times. It takes over who you are, and you start to feel like a carer first and as an individual second. This can affect your physical, mental, and emotional well-being, which can lead to ill health and potentially to the breakdown of the caring role to the detriment to yourself and for your cared for. This presentation aims to give you a greater understanding of the signs of stress and your own stress triggers to help you start to consider ways of taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. It also aims to help you develop some coping strategies to manage your stress. At the end of this presentation, there will be details of how to request a copy of a resource booklet that accompanies this topic and details of how to book on to one of our workshops for family carers. So what is stress? Here's the dictionary definition. Do you think family carers qualify? At its most simple, stress is your body's physical response to mental or emotional pressure. Think about a typical day for you. Think about all the things that you have to do as part of your caring role and for day-to-day life. List them down. You will be surprised exactly what you do. For example, you could be doing some of the following: attending appointments with different professionals, administering medication and dealing with pharmacy mistakes or issues, supporting your cared for with personal care and hygiene, supporting them with moving and positioning, as well as supporting them with continence issues. You could also be waiting for others and professionals to get back in contact with you whilst trying to organise outside care and carers. In other words, providing 24-hour care. So which of these challenges you the most? When you're stressed, your body believes it's under attack, and automatically a mix of hormones and chemicals are released into your body so that you prepare physically to react to the perceived or actual threat. However, dependent on the level of the perceived or actual threat, the levels of hormones and chemicals change to bring your body's response to a more appropriate level to deal with that threat. When there is no threat, we are relaxed. Then we are called in the green state. And as there is no threat, we rest and digest, as well as connect and engage with others. Many coping strategies or grounding techniques are those that help tell our brains that we're not in danger and therefore we can relax. Any strategy used is to ensure that we are in the green state. So here's a bit more detail about what happens to our bodies when we experience stress. And this might help understand why we feel as we do when we are stressed. So some of the key changes to our body when we're stressed include the older part of our brain starts to react instinctively and less logically. We start to breathe more rapidly, providing the body with more oxygen. This in turn increases our heart rate and blood pressure as we get more blood flowing to our muscles and vital organs. Other changes include our muscles start tensing up, getting ready for any action. Adrenaline and cortisol are released into our bodies, increasing our energy and our alertness, which in turn means that our senses, our vision and our hearing are sharper. Please remember that the symptoms of stress act like a smoke alarm, alerting us to danger. Usually can't tell the difference between the cause of the alarm. Some are big threats, some aren't. But what the signs and symptoms are, they make it difficult to ignore. So you have to deal with the alarm for your own benefit. However, increased stress, anxiety, and depression can reduce the brain's ability to cancel these false alarms. You then become overwhelmed, being constantly on edge. However, when the threat passes, your body usually returns to normal. But if you are continually under pressure, this might not be the case. How does stress affect you? Spend some time think about this. You may find it useful to write it down. How do you feel emotionally when you're stressed? Do you feel anxious, resentful, low, helpless, or something else? How do you feel physically? Do you feel exhausted, tired? Do you feel tense? Have you got a headache? Are you agitated? How does it affect you physically? Your thoughts. How do you think about yourself when you're feeling stressed? Do you say things in your head such as, I'm doing wrong as always, or I'm useless, or it's my fault, or can't do this? What other negative thoughts do you have about yourself when you're stressed? How does it affect your behavior? Do you have mood swings? Do you have changes in your eating and drinking habits? Do you become withdrawn? Do you have difficulty concentrating? How else does stress manifest itself with your behavior? In certain situations, stress can cause other health conditions or make them worse. And if you aren't managing the stress, you're more likely to experience anxiety or depression. Mental health conditions can themselves cause extra stress. Coping with the day to day symptoms of any mental health issue, as well as managing appointments or treatments, can introduce sources of stress. When you're affected by stress, you might find it hard to get to sleep or even to stay asleep. You may find your sleep is poor. And if you're missing out on sleep, this can contribute to your stress, creating a never ending cycle. Long term exposure to stress has also been linked to heart disease, memory and concentration problems, and a reduced immune system function. Please ensure that you see your GP if you have any concerns regarding your general health and the effect of long term stress on yourself. Reach out for the appropriate support and do not let your health and well-being suffer. But please remember, we all suffer from trying to juggle the stressful things in our situations and life in general, and we all experience stress differently. So, how do we go about breaking the stress cycle? Firstly, if you recognize the symptoms of stress for what they are and remember that they can be dealt with, they're not a reason to become more anxious. Identify your triggers and develop strategies to deal with the signs of stress. Turn fight or flight into rest and digest. Manage your triggers and learn how to cope. Now, I've mentioned the word cope and coping several times. What do we mean when we say cope or coping? Well, actually, to put it simply, it's just the things we do to keep ourselves well and maintain our well-being. Now, we all get frustrated at times when things are not going our way or life is difficult. To help reduce these feelings of frustration and improve our own well-being, you can practice acceptance. Accepting that there are things in life that we have no control or influence over, and then trying not to worry about those things. Concentrating on the things you do have some control or influence over. It's a difficult thing to do, but practice does make it easier to achieve. This in turn will help you maintain your own well-being. Our internal triggers are the ones that we have the most power to influence. Let's have a look at some of those and how to deal with them. You can deal with them by finding safe ways to express difficult or uncomfortable emotions, doing it safely, appropriately, through things such as talking to other people, expressive arts, singing, dancing, movement. You can think about issues in a different way, from a different angle. Come from it from a positive angle. You can help your body relax. Do some soothing activities. Listen to some music. Take some time out. Read a book. Go for a walk. And start interrupting negative thoughts and feelings. Use positive self talk, such as I statements. Use positive affirmations and possibly gratitude diaries. Now, the external triggers can include anything such as work, relationships, finances, and the caring role. It is important that if you can influence the trigger, to change it the best you can. If you can't control it, change it, influence it, learn to cope with it. Use self soothing techniques and positive thinking. Try practicing acceptance. You could behave differently, learn to be more assertive, change your approach. And finally, you could also reach out for help. Get help from others, give you support and ideas to deal with the triggers. There are 5 ways to develop your own well-being. These are self-evident, and deep down we all know what we need to do, but it's always good to be reminded. First, giving. Acts of kindness, volunteering, or helping others can increase feelings of happiness and well-being to yourself as well as to others. It's a win-win situation. Connecting. Developing and maintaining good, strong social connections with family, friends, and the wider community encourages a sense of belonging, confidence, as well as support. It is an important part of being us. Being active, being physically active, whether it's a walk in the park, gardening, yoga, or just walking to the shops, can boost your mood and reduce stress. Please seek medical advice before you start any vigorous exercise, but please make it enjoyable and you are more likely to stick with it. Keep learning. Continuing to learn new skills, having a hobby, or gaining new experiences can boost your confidence and provide you with a sense of fulfillment. There are free courses available through local colleges as well as the library service. Take notice, mindfulness, paying attention to the present moment, enjoying the small things in life can help reduce anxiety and help you relax. Try slowing down. Take some time and let your senses take over and immerse yourself in the present. Focus on what you see, hear, smell, or feel. Let yourself breathe, rest, and digest. Come to one of our full workshops to gain some practical tips. By building these ways into your daily life, you can develop your resilience, work towards being more positive, and develop your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. There are other areas that affect your well-being as well. Details of how to request the resource booklet that accompany this presentation and where to book onto the full workshop follow. Thank you.